Alright boys, welcome back. Thanks for checking back in with me for the second video. This is the introduction to the 1990 LX hatchback light titanium frost that I purchased in 2021. Yeah, 2021. It is a 76,000 mile car, all original for the most part. AOD, as you can see, the previous owner put on some SVE 4-lug SC wheels with the Sumitomo tires. I'm assuming that's the LMR wheel tire package. And for the most part, it's clean. It's got some issues here and there, and I'm going to point those out in this video. Run channel moldings, yeah, that's an issue. Quarter glass moldings, rough on the passenger side, more so than the driver's side anyway. And this fender, this has been an issue and still is. Previous owner said a chair had hit it in a storm. That's what the owner before him told him. So he drove it around like this. Me personally, I can't. There's no way. So do I go PDR or do I wait until I have the money to have it resprayed, which I plan to do at some point. As you can see, the 5.0 emblem isn't even in the right spot, which drives me nuts. So it doesn't look like it's lowered, of course. The paint, well, big gouge there. I'm assuming as a result of whatever damage it took to the side, which there's multiple creases and dents in that fender. There's a ding in the hood, and there's a few more of those throughout the car. Nothing crazy, but some discoloration in the marker light there, but they look like the original Ford lights. So I'm assuming whatever body shop redid it was able to get their hands on them at the time, because that hood, that fender, and the other fender are not original. The body molding was also resprayed. The previous owner said he used SEM to respray the black body molding. As you can see, the difference between the door moldings versus that black body molding. Pretty stark difference there. So I plan on addressing that. And of course, there's a list a mile long at this point, because I've walked around the car now for a few months. While it's been sitting in my garage, I spent all the money I had to buy and build the car, because I could not get one in this market in the price range I wanted. As most of you guys know, even up to through today's date, it's still ridiculous. But it's really, really clean. It was garaged, I would imagine, most of its life. The underneath of the car is super clean, cleaner than I could even explain. It does have exhaust, like I mentioned, BBK shorty headers, and like I believe a Jones muffler. It has an H-pipe on it, no cats. Really clean. The paint job, whatever front end damage happened, wasn't, it's clean. This quarter glass is in much better shape. It does have a slight bubble there, as most of them do in that area, but they blended it well. And there is a few dings, like I mentioned, two there, and another one on the rear quarter. All in all, the car could be driven in the condition it's in, and there's a lot of people out there that would probably be happy with just buying it and driving it like it is. Me personally, I've owned a few automatics, and never ever was I able to drive them very long with an automatic transmission in them. They're just not as fun, in my opinion. But this one caught my eye. When I saw that light titanium paint, I hadn't seen too many of them, and I had to have it. That's what I'm working with. As you can see, this is a traditional 2-bay garage here in Florida, and there's not much room in them, but it works. So let's take a look at the interior. It is a titanium gray interior, and it is all original from what I can see. All the panels are there, and nothing's been resprayed. It does have the Ford factory tape deck in it, and some issues up here that I just immediately caught my eye. My OCD, as you will come to know in this series, is it's up there. That tilt column's got to go. I really miss the 87, my first Mustang. That tilt column was great, so I'm going to replace the column at some point. Headliner looks great. Like I said, everything works. The driver and passenger side seat, due to the sun and heat, have taken a bit of a beating. The back seats are in mint condition like they usually are, so it would be a shame to replace those. It would be unnecessary. And like I said, this is going to be a daily driver, so for the most part I won't be doing too much to the interior other than just dealing with some stuff that I feel I should deal with, like those map pockets. I'm going to use the infamous tip there as far as the stretched pockets, because the door panels are mint. The door locks do not work, and that drove me nuts right off the bat. Yeah, neither door lock works, so I'm assuming the actuators are gone on both sides. Everything else appears to work. No LED lights in the dash or anything. Nothing was upgraded that I can see. And the AC does work. No upgraded stereo. Like I said, all original Ford speakers. I took a peek behind the grills in the dash. But definitely a clean interior. Original carpet. It does have those gray floor mats, so that's good. I'm glad they had floor mats in it, because it definitely preserved the original carpet. My biggest concern is the, do I get it painted at some point? The paint looks good, I know, and maybe some people will be like, oh, that looks great, but you guys know, I want it resprayed because of the bodywork that was done and that fender damage. I want it resprayed. If you get up on it in the sunlight, you can see some haze in it, and no clear coat peeling, but I would like to have it look as best as it possibly can. Whoa, what was that? We'll save that for later. And if I do, where do I go? Do I take the motor out and have the engine bay sprayed? Do I bother? Or just clean it up? Because technically, if I had it resprayed, I wouldn't need to jam it. So it should be relatively cheap in comparison. The fact that I'm tossing and turning about whether or not do I get it painted first before I start all this work or not is definitely got me stressed out. But I think I'm going to leave it in the condition it's in and just do all the driveline work, suspension work, interior work, etc., and maybe get that fender dealt with by a paintless dent repair guy. As much as it kills me to pay somebody $500 or $600 to get that fender looking good, I can't drive it around like that. That'll drive me nuts. And then I'll just paint match that little scar on the fender. It's funny how one of the headlights, that inner marker, is definitely oranged out. So I contemplated doing those tinted smoked headlights, but I'm also a fan of keeping things kind of original looking. So yeah, I think I can live with the body in the condition that it's in, and the wheels, I'm going in this direction right now where I think I should just make this thing look as sinister as it can. Instead of, when I do have it resprayed, instead of body color, doing the moldings in body color, leave them black. I've never had a car with black body moldings, and you'll see that as the videos progress. I'll talk about some of my other cars. So it kind of was like, but I can deal with it. So let's take a look at the engine. We have, from what I can see, a replaced idle air and not much else. The AC was upgraded. I was concerned about that at first because it did blow cold on the test drive, but it was definitely upgraded from what I understand, what little bit of research I did. It does have a big, true 3-core Champion radiator, and that's a good $300 there. Original fan. Battery is a few years old. It's got some aftermarket wires on it. Like I mentioned earlier, the BBK shorty headers. It seems to run cool. The header panel is original Ford product, but definitely replaced. And you can see the paint coloration differences throughout the front end. This area of the car definitely took the brunt of whatever damage it had, which is kind of a bummer to even have to deal with this, but you guys know at this point finding one that hasn't been damaged it's pretty difficult. And for what I paid, just so you guys know, all full disclosure, $10,000 is what I paid. And yeah, the engine bay itself, the shock towers, the firewall, everything looks really, really good. I was pleased with it. Definitely pleased with it. It doesn't, none of the wiring harnesses look like they've been messed with. Fortunately, it's never had any aftermarket fans or anything, or it definitely wasn't modded prior, so that's always a good thing. As far as, digging into it and finding headaches, I don't think I'm going to run into that. The one thing I did see that I know is a nightmare is it had an aftermarket alarm in it at some point, and it's still up underneath the dash. Looks like they cut away all the important stuff and just zip tied it away and taped it off because it's no longer in use. So I'll have to delve into that at some point. It doesn't have the coil cover, nor the windshield wiper motor cover. The brakes felt great. Transmission hits hard. It has an aftermarket, it's got an upgraded transmission kit. I'm not too familiar with the AODs as far as what can be done to them, but he gave me the paperwork, and I wish I had it nearby. Otherwise, I'd read it out to you guys. But hopefully that'll help getting rid of the transmission when I want to. Because like I said, it's not staying. I definitely have to upgrade this and swap it to a 5-speed. So in the end, I feel like I made the right decision. I love the color of the car. It's in really good shape. I think it's definitely the one for me, and I hope you guys enjoy the journey, because we're definitely gonna upgrade it, to say the least. So stay tuned, and we'll get back with you.